March 1993. Here we go. It's a new month in a very old year, and there's a brand new author on this list. Whose prose I'd never read before, and we're gonna get to them relatively quickly because they're the second book on the list. But anyway, let's just jump into the first book for March 1993, which is Shadow Twin by Dale Hoover. This is part of the Del Abyss line. And I gotta look. It's by a guy named Jack, who's got, maybe the perfect life. Till his neighbor from across the street, I think it is, pays him a visit, and then things start spiraling out of control. And there's some evil going on. I really don't remember much about this. Again, it's one of those Del Abyss books that I'd love to find and purchase and read again. Because Del Abyss was a great line. All right. Book number 2. Flood by Andrew H. Vax. That's how I say his name. Don't know if it's correct. Don't know why there's an H there, except that the copy of the book I read must have had the H on it. I think every other time he's going to be on this list, which is quite a bit, there's no H. But this time, it's Flood, Andrew H. Vax. Before I tell you what the book's about, Mr. Vax is an author that I found because of comic books. He wrote a Predator miniseries for Dark Horse. Predator Race War, I believe it was. And I think it's been a long time, 1993, since I read it. I think it took place in a prison. And so, of course, when I got that in the comic book, it told me that it was written by this guy, Andrew Vax, who had all these novels. So I went and found his first one, which is Flood. And this is the first Burke book. Burke is a character that I think there's 18 Burke books at this point. And so Burke is this guy that lives off the radar, completely off the radar. And he has a found family, and they're all essentially off the radar. I think most of them are ex-cons or part of the system, foster care, all that sort of thing. And so they sort of, it's not like Burke is a private detective or something, but people will come to him for help. And in this book, a woman named Flood comes to Burke, and she wants his help finding, I had some dust blown in my face. And I keep thinking I've got it all. Pardon me. So this woman named Flood comes to Burke. She wants his help finding a child murderer so that she can kill the person. And Burke is like, because of Burke and who he is and what he does, he's like, hell yeah. An amazing book. Andrew Vax has a very sharp writing style, very short, punchy sentences, and no chapter breaks. Possibly scene breaks. It's been a little while since I've read anything from Mr. Vax, and obviously a long time since I read this one. I assume there are scene breaks, no chapter breaks at all. So it's just boom, 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 boom. They move fast. And this is the book that introduces us to all of these characters, who I don't remember all of them, but again, it's Burke, and it's his found family of different characters that all have different sort of street skills and can help him in what he does. What I love about Andrew Vax's work is for me, the wish fulfillment. Andrew Vax was an attorney who dealt, this is as far as I know, hopefully I won't get anything wrong. If I do, feel free to correct me. Was an attorney who dealt exclusively with children and defending children. His wife worked for the Special Victims Unit in New York City, whatever they actually call it. She actually wrote a book called Sex Crimes that will eventually come up on this list. But Andrew Vax dealt with children. He was very, very anti. I mean, who isn't anti-child molestation, anti-child any way that children are being abused in any form? He would adamantly say there's no such thing as child prostitution, because prostitution is a choice being made by the sex worker. Children can't make that choice. So child prostitution, I believe that's the term that he hated. He said there is no child prostitution, it's just child rape, I believe. Unfortunately, he passed away not too long ago. But so all of this, so these books, his books, Flood, the others that we're going to get to, I see 4 in the coming month, and then another 5, 6, 7. Yeah, once I find an author I like, I just dig in. So you're going to be hearing a lot of Andrew Vax. But the books, I say, are wish fulfillment for me because I can't go out and find these people and murder them. The characters in these books can, and it makes me happy. I love what these characters are able to do, the things that we as a society can't do. So yeah, here's a little bit about what goes on in here. Do I want to see child rapists murdered? Yes, I do. Anyway, let's move on. So that was book number 2, Flood by Andrew H. Vax. Book number 3, How to Write Horror Fiction by William F. Nolan. This is the writer of Logan's Run. And this book is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a book about how to write horror fiction, how to create plots, how to create characters, how to create monsters, how to create suspense. That's what this is. Book number 4, Lost Futures by Lisa Tuttle. This is another Del Abyss book. And this one is about a woman named Claire, I believe. Let me look. And her brother dies. I think that's the catalyst. And then she starts living these multiple lives. And one in which, in multiple timelines, I don't know, because in one place her brother's dead. I guess in the others he's not. And she's doing different things in each one, living different lives. That's all I can tell you. But it's a Del Abyss. You know, it's gonna get under your skin and into your brain. Then finally we have Lullaby Town by Robert Crace. This is an Elvis Cole novel. I believe it's the 3rd one. And so there's this big time director named Peter Allen Nelson. And he hires Elvis Cole to find the wife and child that he sort of left behind so that he could go to Hollywood and become a big-time director. He's like the number 3 director in the country, possibly the world. Who's to say? So Elvis Cole takes the case, and of course it's a detective novel, so it does not go smoothly. There's mobsters and things involved. Robert Crace, love his stuff, love the Elvis Cole books, love Joe Pike, Elvis Cole's partner in their detective agency. He's very much Hawk-like, Hawk from the Spencer books, but not a clone of Hawk. He's his own character. It just seems it's the equivalent, I guess. So that's it. 5 books. And what do we got? Some straight up horror, a nonfiction, a mystery. You know, it's Lullaby Town is a straight up private detective story. Flood, while there are investigative elements to it, because Burke is trying to find this child murderer, I don't see them as necessarily private detective type books, because he's not a private detective. Yeah, so a little mix of different things in there. And as I said, you're going to be hearing a lot more about Andrew Vax. I absolutely fell in love with his stuff after reading Flood. I guess that's it. That's all I've got. And I don't have a question for this video because I'm all out of sorts, not just because I got dust in my face and my left eye is itching like crazy and feels just dirty and gritty, but because it's almost the middle of the week. Instead of me doing this on a Saturday, I'm doing this on Tuesday because things just got in the way. And it just throws my whole mind out of whack. So I have no question. That's my whole point. But you know what? If you have any comments or questions or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All that usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is at Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That is all I have for this week. So until next week, read more books.